Accelerant, we're excited to announce the latest version of Stratus Enterprise, version 2.7.0, is now available. This new version is full of new features and third-party integrations, and we're going to highlight just a few of those here today. 2.7.0 includes a new integration to Twilio for SMS text message marketing. Currently, our text message marketing is based on triggers within the point of sale. Things such as loyalty rewards and notifications from our range software, as well as our work orders software. In future versions, we're going to enhance this and add on promotional text message marketing, as well as internal messaging for things like store transfers and loss prevention. 2.7.0 also includes a new integration to Ship Engine. Now, Ship Engine has the same functionality as ShipStation, except it's developed within our own Accelerant user interface, which means you won't have to hop in and out of different systems. With Ship Engine, you now have access to integrated shipping with over 40 carriers. So of course, still UPS, FedEx, USPS, but now also DHL and Amazon Prime, plus many others. Ship Engine also helps our retailers better select which carrier to use based on shipping rates and delivery times. For our hobby shop retailers, we have a new integration with Emery Distributors, where you can import their product catalog directly within our point of sale and automate your purchasing based on min-max levels within our software. For the sporting goods industry, we have a new online marketplace integration to Everest. We also have some new and exciting features, such as contract pricing, which is particularly important for hardware and paint stores, as well as sporting goods and team sales. We also now offer product case packs within our software, which is really helpful for pet shops, liquor stores, and also sporting goods. Shortly after version 2.7.0, we also released version 2.7.1, which was a smaller version which includes two exciting new features. First is a newly redesigned range software for our hunt camp fish retailers. Secondly, we have a new integration to Rezo Systems, which is a third-party solution for rentals specific to the ski industry. Now let's take a look at some of the exciting new features within our software.
We will begin with the point of sale and the modified process of closing a layaway or special order that has a serialized item but no serial number assigned. For example, let's say a customer created a layaway and made a partial payment. They now come back to finalize the layaway, so the user will enter in the customer, go under transaction type, perform a layaway install. That will recall the serialized item. Again, no serial number has been assigned at this point. Next, you'll go through the process of completing the payment. Select the tender, enter in the payment amount, and at this point, we're going to go ahead and finish the transaction. You'll still receive the prompt, do you want to close this transaction? We can go ahead and say yes. At that point, there's validation that's taking place to see if a serial number has been assigned. If the serial number has not been assigned, you'll receive this prompt to choose a serial number that's available in the store you're logged in under. You can go through, select the serial number, and click OK. Or if the serial number that you physically have in hand is not present, then you can click on Cancel, and that will still save the transaction, including the tendering. However, it will not close the layaway. Therefore, you can take appropriate action to correct the issue. Once we click OK, you'll be prompted if you have the green receipt to print, email, or both, and the layaway will then be closed. Next, we're going to talk about the ability to refund an unapplied AR payment. For example, say a customer made a payment and needed to be refunded on their account, or maybe the accounts receivable payment was applied to the wrong customer. In this scenario, what you'd want to do is first have to turn this feature on. That can be handled through back office, under admin, system config list, and you can perform bulk change, go under the receivables, and then you can allow refunds for unapplied payments credits from AR payments. My system's already turned on, so we're going to go ahead and cancel out of here. Return to the point of sale. So once you have the request to refund the payment, you can go under POS activities, under AR payment, You can enter in the customer, and you can go to the unapplied payments and credits. In this case, I have a $50 payment that was unapplied. I can check the payment, go back to the tender screen, click on how I want to refund the customer. You'll notice the amount has now shows up as a negative. So I can go ahead and say yes. It will give me a warning that I'm about to refund an unapplied payment or credit. If I say yes, you'll receive the receipt and the customer will be refunded the amount. Next, we're going to talk about the new contract pricing. In order to set this up, the first thing you want to do is you'll go into the back office. To give the customers the ability to have special pricing, you actually want to go under promotions and markdowns, and you'll want to first begin by creating a customer pricing. This can be handled by customer pricing menu option or through the customer pricing import. If you go through either one, you can see here we have multiple customer pricing set up already. If I go in, I can edit this. So from here, I can do it based off of the advanced filtering concept. Or if I use the customer pricing import, I can go through and select specific items that I'm going to be giving different pricing for. Once you have the customer pricing record set up, the next step is to assign it to a customer. So if we go back to the back office master menu, go under customers, you can bring up the customer that you want to assign the customer pricing to, or create the contract for, edit the customer record. You can go under Action, Customer Contracts. So from here, what we're doing is we're adding a contract. We're creating a contract so that you can select it at the point of sale during a sale. So in this case, I can put in any name that I want. I could say, this is job 1. If you're using different names, you can do it that way. If you're giving the customer a special pricing, you can go ahead and select that from the customer pricing dropdown. And then you have the ability to set the special pricing expires and mark it as active. So the special pricing expires date is used in a scenario where you agree with the customer on you're going to receive this special pricing until, let's say, the end of August. At that point, then, you might not want to take it off their account, but they no longer receive the special pricing. So that's where the special pricing expires comes into play. You also have the ability to enter in any type of comment that you want for the contract. That's more for internal purposes. And then lastly, you have the ability to require user security. So the idea here is that maybe you have a contract that has really good special pricing that you only want managers to be able to select at the point of sale. You can set up the user security so that managers have access to, let's say, use security customer A, whereas the general clerks do not. So if you do set that, then when you go through the point of sale, which I'll show in a second, if you don't have security access, you will not be able to select that contract from the prompt. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and save the contract. So it returns us back to the customer detail. Again, we can go back into Action, Customer Contracts. You can see now that the contract is there. I can edit the contract or remove the contract. But basically, that's the process of assigning a contract to a customer. Once I have that in place, then I can go return to the point of sale. And at this point, example, a customer is going to come in. I can go in, enter in the customer. Now, because I have a contract and you can't have multiple contracts running it simultaneously, I can go through and select what contract that I want to apply the sale to. You can only apply one contract per sale. And this is just informational security required, yes or no. So I'm going to go ahead and I can select the contract that I'm applying the sale to, or I can cancel out, which would bypass the contract. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and select it. And now if I go through the process of entering in an item, I now have the item on here. I can go through the process of clicking on pay and closing out the transaction. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in the tender, payment amount, complete the sale. I won't print the receipt. And now the sale has been finalized. Next, we're going to talk about the new product case So to begin the setup of case packs, you'll first go under Product Management, under Setup, and then you have the case types. So case types, you can see here, these are the unit of measures. So you can see I've created a couple different ones, 12-pack, 24, 50 count, 6-pack case, dozen. So this is all user definable. You would just click on New, enter in the name that you want to call it, the case code. This is used on the purchase order and transfer screens. So this is like a short code, and then the quantity associated with it. So if I jump back and look at, say, a 12-pack, you can get an idea of how it would be set up. So that's the first step, is that you're creating these case types. Next, if you go back into, again, Product Management, Setup, and go down to Case Templates. So not every item is going to have the same case types. So, for example, baseballs might have a dozen and case quantities, 12 and 48, whereas if we look at, let's say, for example, a beverage one, that might have more 6-pack, 12-pack, 24-pack. So you basically, what you're doing is you're creating the template, and the template will then be assigned to the individual products. So you might have products that come in different measurements. For example, maybe Gatorade comes in, different unit of measures than baseballs, or something along those lines. So with that said, you create the templates. It'll give you a list of all the case types that you have set up. You can check off the ones that you want, and you can give it a name that you're going to use to select when you're viewing the product itself. Once we have those two pieces created, then you can go through and you can assign it to the products. So if we go under Product Management, under Products, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my product. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and edit that product. Scroll down to the quantity breaks, and you can see here we have the case template, which is a drop down of the templates that I've created. We have the default order case, which I can set as my default as being dozen or case. This would be used for purchase orders. We have the transfer default. If you have a default for the sale, you can do that, or you can leave it blank. And you have a flag here that says pick case at POS on any scan. So what that means is that I can either scan the each unit, I can scan the case units, and if I scanned any one of those, is going to prompt me at the point of sale. If I have this unchecked, then if I scan the each barcode, it's going to sell me an each. If I scan a case barcode, it's going to sell me a case. To set those barcodes, you go under this modify cases. So this is where you're able to come in, and it gives you the case types that you've created for that template. And then you can go through and you can actually click in the UPC, and you can enter in whatever the UPC it is that you want. You can also set the price as well as the cost. So this is where you go through for this individual product and define the UPC's price, so on and so forth. So once that's all set up, I'm now able to use the case packs at the point of sale, during purchase orders, during transfers. So if I go back to the point of sale, and I decide that I'm going to go ahead and enter in the barcode, it's going to prompt me, all right, am I buying an each unit? Am I buying a dozen units? Am I buying a case of units? So I can say a dozen. And you'll see here that the quantity is still 12, and the price is my special pricing that I have for a dozen of them, and I can go through the process of completing the sale. And now I've just relieved my inventory by a dozen of those individual items. So the benefit here is that you only have one product that you have to manage in terms of your on-hand quantity, reordering, your min-max, replenishments either at the store level or from the vendors. So that's the benefit of using the case packs. Additionally, this has been brought over to inter-store transfers, as well as purchase orders, new at once receiving, so on and so forth. So for example, if I go in and create a new purchase order, I can go through, I'll just enter in a vendor. And then if I come down and enter in, you'll notice here that my default unit of measure is a dozen. So it's giving me my cost. So I can order this by the dozens, in which case I can come in here and say I need 2 dozen. So that would give me 24 individuals. If I needed to change that, I can't change it with the quantity entered, but I can change the case type. And I can say, okay, I only need to enter just in individual units, or I can bump it up to a case. So if I bump it up to a case, you'll see here, I select the item, change case effect, I can hit order by the eaches as well. Same basic logic for interstore transfers as well. So you're not locked into ordering it as the default, but that is to make things a bit easier in terms of when you do create the purchase order. Next, we're going to talk about the special order allocation report. The special order allocation report is used during the purchase order receiving of a purchase order that's linked to a customer order. So for example, if I go back to the point of sale and I bring up a customer, you'll notice that I have a special order that's out here already. So I've already created the special order. So at this point, I'm going to go back to the back office, go under vendor management. I can go under the make POs from customer orders. So I can actually filter now by the sale date. And you'll see here that I have an item from that special order waiting to be ordered. So I can go through the process and make PO. Bring up my vendor and go ahead and complete the process. So at this point, I've gone ahead and I've created a purchase order. So I'm going to jump back to the main menu, go under vendor management, purchase orders, and I can look at today's order date and see that purchase order is out here. So I'm going to go ahead and approve it. So we're now approved. I'm going to go ahead and click on action and receive. So at this point, again, this is already linked to a customer order. So I can go in here. You can see here it is linked to the customer order. So I'm going to go ahead and I will receive everything. So now I have my quantity received. I can go ahead and click on save. And at this point, it's going to print not only the receiving statement, but if I actually scroll down, you'll see here, it's printing the special order allocation report. That gives me who the customer was, their phone number, the order information, what items it is, so I can pull those out of the receiving. And then I'm able to also use this as a document to contact the customer and inform them that their item is available for store pickup if that's the case. Or I can then put it to the side for my fulfillment center to actually ship it off to the customer and complete the sale. And then I can print the tags if I need to, or I can cancel out. In addition, in 270, you'll notice under the reporting, we have 2 new options. The first is specific for the sportsman industry. Since we are the preferred point of sale for NASGW, simply click here with no additional login required, and NASGW scope reports will open from within our Stratus back office. The second menu option is specific for our retailers that purchased our advanced Stratus Analytics reporting tool. And again, no additional login is required. It simply opens the new tab directly in Stratus Analytics.
Those are just some of the many new features within Stratus Enterprise. Visit our client site and download our release notes to read about all the new features now made available to you. And to schedule your update, email updates@Celerant.com. If you're not current on your software assurance, feel free to reach out to your sales rep because at Celerant, we're eager to have you updated to the most recent version of our software.